In this video, I'm going to concentrate on cropping, which is a very powerful tool that you can use to improve your images and to essentially get the print you want. So the, I'm going to first go to the thumbnails down here in the lower right, and I'm going to change it to the extra large thumbnails so that I quickly can see big moves on how a print is going to be cropped. Right now, I have selected 4 by 6, and in 4 by 6, which is a 1 to 1.5 aspect ratio, at iPrintfromHome, we have several images that are 4 by something, 4 by 4, 4 by 5, 4 by D, which is a name that was used in the beginning of the digital revolution, which means 4 by 5.3, 4 by 6, 4 by 8, 4 by 12, and 4 by 16. So let's quickly just make the changes. I also have my cropping as smart fit, which means I'm going to be seeing my whole image and I have no border selected. So let's just quickly go through the different sizes so that you can see kind of what happens. So at 4 by 4, smart fit gives you the whole image this is a square print. So since I have a portrait file, the uneven borders, it will fill the image from top to bottom, and then the uneven borders would be left white on the left and the right. If I go to 4 by 5, that changes a little bit. Now this is the white on the left and the right is a little smaller. 4 by 6, a little smaller still. 4 by 8, notice that the white change from left from left and right to top and bottom. That means that the aspect ratio of my file is in between 4 by 6 and 4 by 8. So let's look at that again. 4 by 8, the white is on top and the bottom, and 4 by 6, it's on the left and the right on this picture. And you can see the same thing changing if it's a landscape picture, well, the opposite happens. And the aspect ratio is the same, the opposite happens. So my closest fit, if I wanted to print my whole image, I would I would select either 4 by 6 or 4 by 8. And let's stick at 4 by 6 and let's try crop to fill. And you can see how now that fills the whole image and it looks pretty good, and I may be happy with that. At this point, if I want to, I can also add a small border. Notice that the border takes away from the image size. The paper size stays the same and the image size gets a little smaller. I personally tend to like borders quite a bit, but understand this is something that some people get confused by. The print size stays the same. The image shrinks a little to accommodate the borders. This is a 4 by 6. So just to go to an extreme, if I went to a ½ inch border, well, the image gets smaller still, and a 1 inch border, it gets real tiny and it looks a little odd on a 4 by 6 print. But again, this may be something you want. If you want a really big border, sometimes people get really big borders on small prints because they want to write stuff around it or they want to do something. They're using the picture for something else, and that's fine. And and then I'm going to try the last thing. I'm going to take the borders out again. I'm going to leave it at a 1/4 inch border, which I like, but I'm going to go to the custom crop. And here I can make further tweaks. I can, with rolling up the flywheel on the mouse, I can zoom in and out, and I can crop it just the way I want, just the way I want, and I can play with it, and um, and you know, maybe I can play with it a little more to get rid of those electrical lines on the upper right, and um, and it looks pretty good to me. So I'm gonna add it to the cart, and I'm gonna order. This is a basic introduction to cropping. The big ideas that I wanted you to see is that you can explore before you ever order a print. And in fact, the biggest recommendation that I can make to you, our interface is very, very fast, is to just literally play in the same way. There's a lot of times when I just want to see how a print is going to look, and I try different things and I try different sizes, and I try to figure out what's the print that fits the image ratio the best, or I try cropping, or I try rotating, or but the big idea is that happens very, very quickly, and experimenting is what I hope is the biggest takeaway from this. You're also creating instructions for us that are very precise, meaning we're not interpreting your instructions. You're literally creating, when you're doing cropping on our site, you're creating instructions that are read directly by our printers, not by our people, but by our printers that interpret the instructions you're creating here and are going to print something that looks exactly like what you're seeing. So if you're not liking what you're seeing, don't order it. And because once you order it, that's what we're going to give you. So take the time to experiment, to play, and to explore the different ways you can get great cropping at iPrint from home. Thank you. If you like videos like this, send us a request through the helpline and let us know the kind of videos you'd like to see. Thank you. Bye bye.